Hey everyone, so here is the real estate breakdown for the Windsor real estate market for the week ended November 23rd, I think it is, something like that. 26th, 25th, 24th, 23rd, yeah, November 23rd. So this is the follow-up to the other video that I shot about the market activity for the week. We had a really good market week. We sold 68 houses in the week. Everybody says, gee, aren't we supposed to slow down for Christmas? It's not Christmas time yet. We don't slow down for Christmas until about a week and a half, 2 weeks before Christmas. It's gangbusters all the way through because so many people are moving to the South Beach of Canada, which is Windsor. That's one of the benefits. We have hundreds and hundreds of people every single month moving to Windsor. People are retiring all across Canada. They're selling their houses all across Canada, and they are moving to the South Beach of Canada, which is Windsor. It is our time to shine. It's staggering the amount of people that are moving here, but I digress. So we're looking at the market. We had a really good market for the week. We did sell three $1 million houses. So we worked through a little bit of inventory at least because there's a lot of $1 million houses on the market. So we were able to sell three of them, which is great. There were 50 houses that sold at 2.0 competing realtor commission. Keep in mind, I don't know that this is happening, but my speculation is that the listing realtor is keeping 3% for themselves and paying 2% to the competing realtor. I believe that that's what's happening. Don't know that for sure because I don't have any access to that data set. That's private data set between the listing realtor and the seller. But I do see how many houses were sold at 2% competing realtor commission. And I can also do the mathematical model, which is this here, the penmanship, to tell you how good or how bad that actually is. And you are going to hold on to your hats for this video because it's staggering the amount of money that people are leaving behind. So what's changed after COVID, and before COVID, we used to share. It used to be 2.5 and 2.5. It's a 5% standard commission generally across the Windsor market, generally 5%. Now, some people need something a little bit less and ask for something a little bit less, and their realtor goes and does that. So some of these 2.0s may be fours. They could be because there's a lot of part-time realtors in the city of Windsor who are just vying for a listing so that they can stay afloat as well too. There's like 1,550 realtors here in the city of Windsor. So, and there was only 68 houses sold for the week, and most of us are doing, I'm up to 30, almost 30 transactions so far this year. So you can see how everybody's trying to compete for my business as well too. So we have to think outside of the box. But here's the thing that's super important. The average list price for the week was $528 to $282. That has stayed steady all year long. 520s is what the average listing price in the city of Windsor has been all year long. Windsor's market is rock solid. Has not changed. Always the same, week after week after week after week after week after week. Have I said that enough? Rock solid. Because so many people are moving here. It's where the demand is coming from. Average sale price, $533,000. So the average over for the week was just $5,263. So if you were looking to buy a house, you should be out there looking right now because the average over is less than $5,000, less than $5,250, or less than $5,300. Let's say it that way. Sorry about the semantics. But so when we get into the breakdown of the math, here's what's staggering. So we can see, where did it just go? Oh, it's right here. We can see the 2.0 listings, and we can do the math to know how much the average, if the average over was 5263, how much did the average 2.0 go over 5263, and how much did the average 2.5 go over 5263? We can do the math and calculate all of that. It's what a person like me with a degree in business can do, a degree in finance. We grab our handy dandy calculator and we just go to it and come up with data sets. And I've been doing this the same way all year long, so it's always the same data set. I can compare that to 5 weeks ago because the data set hasn't changed. The math, the way that I calculate out the math has not changed. That's one of the benefits of math, is that if you present it and do it the same way over and over and over again, it gives you good data sets to be able to compare. You just have to be able to understand the data sets, because math can be very complex as well too. So 2.0, you add them all up. The average over bid was just 76.27%. Average over bid was just 76.27%. So if the average over bid was $5,263, we know that, $5,263. Anybody who chose to list their house at 2.0% competing realtor commission only got 76.27% of this amount of money. So they only got an over of $4,000. Now, why their realtor is having them do this makes no sense to me, because they're only getting $4,000 over. And you're going to see how much that actually adds up to be. So there were 18 brave souls that were coached and guided about this whole process, and they decided to list their house fairly. They decided, okay, if the average standard commission is 5%, if the standard commission is 5%, okay, let's make it fair and go 2.5 for the listing realtor and 2.5 for the selling realtor. Make it fair. What happens when the market is fair? Well, look at this. The average overbid for the people that chose to list, the 18 souls that were brave enough to list at 2.5, those folks got 467.5% over. 467.5% over 5263, because 5263 was the average over. So you do that math and you say, oh, a 2.5er got $24,604 more for their house than a 2.0er. So 18 brave souls listed correctly under the auspices of game theory, had a realtor that might have explained it to them or might not have explained it to them, don't know. And if you look at this though, so 18 people got an average of $24,604 more for their house. And I can show you that. Let's just look at the very first one, right here at the top. This person here listed their house at $184,000. I can't really show you the street, that's illegal technically. So they listed their house at $184,500. And they listed it at 2.5%. And they got $251,568 because they had more traffic to their house. They had more realtors willing to see it. Realtors are starving. There's 1,550 realtors in the city of Windsor. You need something to get them to come to see your house. So the house sold in multiples clearly for $251,568. That was 1,274% over the asking price. Very, very amazing. Okay? They're just right here at the top. I don't even need to continue to keep going. So at the end of the day, you are making decisions when you list your house. If you're thinking about listing your house in 2025, please call me at 519-995-6145. Have a 15-20 minute appointment with me. That's all I'm asking you for. 15-20 minutes. I will be able to show you the market. I will be able to explain it to you. That way you at least are an informed consumer. If you want to list with any other realtor, by all means, go ahead. But the benefit is that you'll be able to say to that realtor, look, I want you to list at 2.5% to the competing realtor because I want to maximize my value. If you don't do that and show me the paperwork where it's at, so I know that you're doing what I'm asking you to do, because that's another tricky thing with all of this too. The realtors just fill out the paperwork here, sign here, sign here, sign here, and then nobody knows what they've signed, and they've signed for a 2.0, and they're leaving $1 million last week. $1 million last week is quantifiable to the losses that 50 people had because they chose to list their house at 2.0% competing realtor commission. Now, how bad is it? Out in Amherstburg, 88% of the houses in Amherstburg this year sold for a 2.0% commission. And that 88 underperformed, that 88% underperformed. In Leamington, it's 65.8%. In Essex, it was 64.4% who are choosing to list at a 2.0 competing realtor commission. In the city of Windsor, it's all right here, whole year, all printed out. Taking this with me on my cruise, trust me. We go on our cruise at the end of the year, but let's look at it. What's the data set? 65.8% chose to list at 2.0 competing realtor commission. It's that big of a problem. Nobody's explaining to anybody the concepts around game theory and commissions. Last week, show it to you, quantify it to you. Last week, in the city of Windsor, $1 million was left behind because nobody understood the value of keeping it fair after COVID. We got to get back to fairness in real estate. And you can help me. If you're thinking about selling your house in 2025, I sure would like to have a chance to be able to come in and just fully explain it to you in person. You've been watching these videos. Don't hesitate to give me a call. My name is Brian, 519-995-6145, 519-995-6145. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Bye-bye.